You've felt it before. You open an email and within seconds, you just know it's premium. You can't point to one specific thing, but something about it makes you trust the brand more, makes you want to buy. That feeling isn't an accident, it's psychology. Most brands design their emails based on what looks cool, or even worse, they just copy a cookie cutter template and call it a day. But the brands that actually convert are engineering a psychological response, and most of their competitors have no idea they're doing it. Now, after generating over $60 million for our clients and designing thousands of emails, we found that almost every premium email comes down to 3 core principles. And in this video, I'm going to be breaking those down, starting with principle number 1. So getting into the principle number 1, which is basically and leveraging the simple yet powerful halo effect. So one of the most overlooked part of emails is how they actually look, because people judge your brand in under a second when they see any of your creatives or designs, whether it's ad or whether it's email marketing. So if you have colors that feel random or that clash, if you have everything crammed together, or if you have low quality product shots or visuals in general, you are creating a negative halo effect. So here you can see a bad example of an email. There's everything is just crammed together, offer, another 3 offers, and then even more offers here, and another offer, no hierarchy of the email. You can't even see properly the CTAs. There's no buttons or anything. You need to really actually dive deep into the email to even find the CTAs. This type of email is a no-no. This won't perform. This creates a really negative halo effect of your brand, which means that there will be a negative assumption about your entire brand, from product, customer service, and everything in between. Obviously, the opposite of that is what we're looking for, which is a premium brand that activates the positive halo effect. So the same thing from product to customer service and everything in between, you're getting the positive halo effect and a positive impression. So people assume your product is higher quality, they assume your brand is more trustworthy, and that the prices are justified as well, even though they would be higher than, let's say, for a competitor with a less positive halo. Now, you can see here a couple of good examples of this kind of premium design that actually communicates the premium impression of the brand in the best possible way. So here you can see Hexclad, nothing says I love you like premium cookware. Really simple color palette, dark color palette, but visual hierarchy is clear. CTAs are really standing out from the email. It's made to look really smooth all over the place, and there's not too much stuff. There's clear visuals, a little bit of text, and then clear CTAs, guiding you through the whole email, and exactly what you need to do when you are going through this email. They are pushing you to the call to actions really clearly. Same thing here. Again, I was skeptical. If you look at this design here, it's basically really simple, again, similar color palette as the Hexclad, but it's just good product shot here at the center, really clear hierarchy, like this triangle pattern of the CTA. So basically this is called inverse pyramid. Basically there's a headline, there's the description, and then there's the CTA. Everything is guiding your eye towards the CTA section, and then the visual effect of the bottle coming above the CTA makes it even more clear and stands out from the design. Then clear visuals with people, UGC with the product, another CTA, and then a couple of clear reviews. Really simple but premium looking design again. And then Ate Sleep, Uncover the Pod, again this modern, almost sci-fi aesthetic, but super simple, rounded CTAs, rounded corners in all of the patterns here. Not a lot of content again, but visuals, a little bit of text, and then clear hierarchy, and then these icons are kind of reinforcing this. Instead of just having a list of bullet points, 30-night trial, 5-year warranty, and so on, you have icons for each of these, and you're combining it with the visual, the headline here, and then the CTA here. So super simple, and that's something that usually happens with most of the premium brands, premium designs. They keep it simple and plain. They don't try to complicate it too much. And obviously that's all because your designer just spent a couple more hours in Figma, or you just build a proper design system, proper branding guideline palette and everything for them to leverage on every new creative. So everyone is super clear and aligned on what happens on the email, what happens on the ad side, what happens on the website side, and so on. Now, principle number 2 is people are lazy, and we want to use that as our advantage. So basically, high cognitive load feels cheap, and premium brands are usually so simple it's almost plain. So like I already explained, if you look at, for example, this luxury Michael Kors brand email, there's no clutter, there's a lot of white space, there's really not a lot of text. It's super easy to digest, just image, one sentence, CTA, couple of other images, and another CTA. And this, not trying to say too much, not trying to do too much with an email, speaks to a quiet confidence. And that's what premium design is all about. So if your emails are cluttered, you're not only making people spend more effort to digest your email, it also looks like you're desperately screaming for attention. So for example here, there's no visual hierarchy, there's too many products crammed in this one section, there's image, you don't really know what to press, there's so many CTAs straight at the top, footer, header bar here, and there's another button here, and then is this CTA or is this headline, you don't even know, and then there's all of of these crammed together. It's just kind of like a listing of things, but it's not really like an email that is guiding you to do something specific. Now, obviously simple doesn't mean boring. It means that every element earns its place. So when the brain doesn't have to work, it interprets the experience as high quality. So again, here compared to here, every single thing has a meaning that they have here. But here it's just kind of like you're throwing things here and see what sticks. Third principle, subscribers trust consistency. So consistency is pretty much the principle here. And we're talking about that and the mere exposure effect. So think about Apple for a second, first of all. It all feels premium, same clean font, same minimalist UI, and you pretty much recognize it before you even see the logo. And why is that? Let's see a couple of email examples and let me explain this to you. If you look at these, there's AirPods Pro 3 email, there's email about the Watch Series 11, and then there's email about iPad Air. If you look at all of these emails here, different products, but style, template, the design type is exactly the same in all of these. There's the headline, a little bit of text, the dual CTA that Apple uses, buy or learn more, there's the pricing, and then there is these kind of icons and like bullet points of like the features of the product, and then the email just looks and feels exactly the same in all of these cases. And not only that, it's fully aligned with the actual brand aesthetic when it comes to the top like front-end acquisition, and then when it comes to the website as well. So let's say you get this email, then you press yourself to the website, then you land on the website, there's congruency from the email to the website design, increasing this familiarity and trust. So look at this on the website, it looks the same style, again dual CTA, the headline, the image, it's exactly the same style as with the emails. And that's the mere exposure effect. The more familiar something looks, the more your brain trusts it. Here's like a negative example of this. So what not to do, there's too many different fonts, there's completely different color schemes between these emails, so there's no consistency. Maybe you'd receive this one day, then you open this one, you don't even know it's the same brand. There's just not the same kind of consistency as, let's say, here for example. And big brands, they know how to do this, and consistently builds brand equity over time. So that's what you see when you think about brands like Apple, for example. There's really, really clear branding, and they're following and sticking to it in every single touch point, every single part of the journey. Now, there's this final bonus principle that I wanted to bring up, which is about people buying with their eyes. And what do I mean by this? It's basically that our brains associate beautiful design with higher quality and desirability. And when an email makes a product look visually irresistible, creates instant craving, and reduces the friction to buy. And I wanted to bring one example here as a bonus. So I, coined this design so good you can almost taste it. And shout out here to Joshua, one of my contacts on LinkedIn, a designer. He made this really nice mock-up of an email design he put together. And I thought this was a super good example of what I'm speaking about here, which is people buying with their eyes, how premium design can actually build this emotional connection, kind of visually storytell the same thing that you're trying to say with the words, with the copywriting in the email, and how can you communicate the kind of feeling of the brand with just images basically, and colors and visuals. So here you can see this is a chocolate brand, savor the moment. This makes you want to actually try and taste the chocolate because you can see it looks delicious, colors are matching, and there's all these visual like playful elements that make the email flow super well. It looks like 3D design. There's like no harsh transitions or anything. It's just, the chocolate is kind of looking 3D. It's like coming to your eyes from design when you're looking at it. And then the kind of golden branding color palette is also included here, but also included in the CTA's Shop Now. And then a couple of examples of the products, Shop Now, Shop Now, Shop Now. And then the whole thing, a couple of reviews at the end. So this is what I mean when it comes to people buying with their eyes and what premium design does at its best, especially when it comes to products that are about emotions, that are not about something you actually need, but about a want, something luxurious like chocolate or anything like that. It's more about how it makes you feel than whether it's something that you actually need. And that's when this kind of premium design really, really shines. Now, if you want to learn more about email, click here to watch what I learned after studying 1000 plus emails. So just click here or click the video on the screen right now and you can get here and continue watching. All right, thank you so much, and see you in the next one.